This is what my life looked like for a solid 2 weeks or so. If I could summarize all of the life experiences that I've had in that time frame, I would summarize it with a few letters and numbers. A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and J, Q, K. And no, I'm not proud of it. Balatro hooked me like no other game did this year, from its impressive and responsive visual design, to its satisfying sound effects and soundtrack, to its addicting roguelike gameplay that has me like a duck on quack. This game deserves all of the praise it received last year. There's really not much I can say about this game that hasn't been said already, but if you haven't hopped on it yet and you still need some convincing, let me tell you this. I'm not really big on roguelikes. Risk of Rain, Hades, Enter the Gungeon, Isaac, they're all good games that I've tried, but I could just never really get into. Balatro is the biggest exception for me when it comes to roguelikes. It just tickles your brain in every way imaginable without a condom. There's card packs to open, brain tickle. Some cards have cool and rare effects on them, brain tickle. This little ding noise when you score points, brain tickle. Balatro tickled my brain so hard I started wearing a helmet every time I played it. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, but it only took me less than a week to do this. So, yeah. If you're looking at Balatro and you're saying, I don't know how to play poker, so I'm probably not going to like it, don't worry. You don't need to know how to play poker. All you need to know is that you're going to have a great time, and you're probably going to lose sight of your responsibilities for a while if you play it. You play poker hands to earn points, you modify how many points you get, and various other things with these joker cards that you unlock as you play, and you can come up with some crazy combinations that'll make you start feeling really confident until you hit ante 12, which is when the game says, I hope you've been counting cards, big boy, because the house is going to win tonight if you haven't. And then you lose, and you say, how the f am I supposed to score 300 million points? And then you look at the main menu and you see that for ante 13, the game requires at least 47 billion points to win. And then you look at ante 14 and the game starts requiring a bunch more points and the letter E to win. What's the letter E? Euler's number. What's Euler's number? Something something logarithms and exponential functions. Who was Euler? I don't know, but he had a funny name. Abiotic Factor is a game that took me by complete surprise, and I felt like it was one of those games that went a bit more under the radar than it should have. I barely saw people talk about this game, and it baffled me. This is easily one of the best survival crafting games I've ever played, but not so much in a Minecraft, Valheim, Enshrouded type of way, but more of a linear, intriguing, mystery, Half-Life type of way. I don't really know how to describe it. In Abiotic Factor, you play as a scientist in a science facility, a bunch of aliens invade the place, the military comes and does things, and there's a big sense of mystery. So yeah, it's basically Half-Life, except in this game you have to take a shit every so often. But despite its clear derivative nature of Half-Life, it's one of the most unique games that you'll ever play. And I say that you'll ever play because you will play it after watching this video if you haven't already. Got it? Good. Abiotic Factor says, hey, you're a scientist inside a science facility and aliens are real, so basically anything can happen. And the game takes full advantage of that idea. You have to use the materials that you find inside the facility to survive, and this basically means combining a bunch of random things and creating a bunch of DIY projects. The most exciting part about this game for me is its sense of discovery. As you play, the facility opens up and you get to go to different sectors of it, which is literally never dull or boring. I am always hyped to see what the next area is because each area feels very well crafted and unique and just a pleasure to explore. You'll be walking through the facility and see another part of the facility that you haven't been to yet, and you'll know that at some point you're going to get to go to that area, and along the way you're going to unlock a bunch more sciencey, cool crafting recipes. And you'll also find some actual guns along the way. Fuck with me, dude.
Oh my god,
dude.
he got a gun. He got a gun.
You motherfucker. The story is obviously derivative, but still somehow intriguing. There's little vague bits of lore and mystery sprinkled around the world, which honestly helped elevate this game from survival crafting Half-Life to actually interesting and distinct world that I want to learn more about, which is kind of a big deal. Not only that, but one of the other most exciting things about this game is the portal worlds. Occasionally, you'll get to travel through a portal that takes you somewhere else. And these locations vary. I don't want to say too much about them because I think it's better if you just find out about them yourself, but I'll just show you this footage from one and let you discover it later. These are a huge factor in why I love this game so much, so it's tough for me to not spoil much about them, but yeah, big fan I am. If you're looking at the graphics of this game and you're saying to yourself, man, this looks like shit, why don't you just stop being a bitch, huh? Abiotic Factor has an undeniable charm to it, from its graphics, to its voice acting, to its story, to its concept and execution. It's like you took an old original Xbox game that had crippling back pain, you put it through the ring dinger, and suddenly it became an Olympic athlete. The concept, the level design, the story, and the sheer amount of love put into this game acts as a benchmark for what I want to see out of a video game. I only have good things to say about it, and I'm excited to see what's next. If you don't like survival crafting games, try this one out anyway because it's different in the best way possible. But this next game has been one that's become a staple within my friend group, and it's a game that you absolutely need to play with your friends. When When I first saw gameplay and clips of people playing Lockdown Protocol, I knew I had to get it. It was just a matter of convincing my friends to buy it. And I'm really good at peer pressuring people, so of course they all did. I'll suck your guys' dicks if you buy this game. Lockdown Protocol is Among Us, but 3D and good. I never liked Among Us, sue me. But this is also coming from someone who literally grew up playing TTT every single day after I'd get home from middle school, and TTT is clearly just a superior version of Among Us.
I think it's duck.
Wait, what did I do? I've been holstered this whole time, dude. I don't even have a gun.
What was that like? It was like a flame or something.
Oh, you talking about the Newton launcher? It's like that.
It's him!
But you know what? I think Lockdown Protocol is the best version that I've played of a social deduction video game. In case you don't know how these types of games work, in Lockdown Protocol's case, let's say you've got 8 people. 6 of those people will be selected as employees, and their goal is to accomplish all of the tasks that are available to them. This includes things like making sushi, or delivering boxes to different parts of the map, or replacing the air vents in the facility. The remaining 2 people will be selected as traitors, or dissidents in this game. And their goal is to stop the other 6 people from completing those tasks, whether that be by hiding the necessary items to complete the tasks, or just stalling, or by killing them.
That wasn't very cool. That wasn't very...
When you're an employee, you don't know who else is an employee, so you have to figure out who the traitors are. It's a game concept that's been done many different times, and it's a naturally fun game concept, but Lockdown Protocol's execution of it is really something special. Hey. Ah! The problem with something like TTT is that when you're innocent, you don't really do anything. You kind of just sit and wait for something to happen. The problem with Among Us is that, yes, there's tasks to do, but I don't know, it's 2D and doesn't feel nearly as dynamic as I'd want. I just never gave a shit about it. So in Lockdown Protocol, there's always something to do. The tasks are simple but engaging, and just about every game you play is exciting. But the best part about these games is lying. Is anyone alive?
We need that.
White and purple. It's fucking white and purple.
Whoa.
Just kidding, it's me. I'm gonna stab you. If you're a good friend and a decent human being, you probably don't lie much, but social deduction games encourage it. It's a great way to learn more about your friends, see how they act under pressure, and realize who's a little too good at lying so you can push them out of your friendship group because they're untrustworthy. And it's fun to just f with people sometimes. We just need to do scanner now. We're gonna win.
Scanner, they're working on scanner. Scanner should be done right now.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Stop!
That's
Stop!
great.
Stop!
That's great.
Stop! 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 Stop!
You're also just gonna meet a ton of different, interesting people if you queue up for a public lobby.
You know, every state would be red if we didn't let women vote.
Bro, you know, wait, who's that? You know King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
That's my
fucking
favorite
tough.
fucking band, baby.
Yo!
Hell yeah, dude.
Who has the first potential to be?
Are you vaping, dude? Or you hitting a pen? That's a pen.
Yeah, you can hear that. Look at him coughing like a bitch.
I love how the helmet lights up when he coughs.
Alright, guys and children, today we're going to learn about delivery. Okay, the V2 rocket is incredibly long range and powerful. It's going to deliver all of this, look at the schematic, all of this to New York City. Next slide. Hang on. Okay, anal yeezus.
And sometimes you'll meet children.
I found this hidden vent.
Tell me where they were.
No.
Tell me.
No.
No.
I'm gonna tickle you. I'm gonna tickle you.
Don't tell him about it.
Different spot this time. Different spot than you thought too.
Also, the guy in this clip has a YouTube channel. His name is The Jan. Go check him out. Apparently, your pee-pee gets bigger if you subscribe to him, and it's true. Mine is 3 inches now. The developers have announced that they're adding more maps and game modes, and they're currently tinkering with the way that weapons are acquired, which has kind of split the player base in a way, but regardless, it's an amazing game to get drunk and scream in with your friends. It's purple and blue! It's purple and blue! It's purple and blue! Hey! It's purple and blue! No Rest for the Wicked is a game that I wasn't sure if I was allowed to include on this list because I don't know if it's technically an indie game. This guy in the comments says it's not, but Google says it is, and I like this game and it deserves your attention, so it's going on the list. Here's the bottom line. The art style, perfect. Perfection. This game is fucking gorgeous. The story, cool. I like it. It's interesting. This chick, would. Definitely would. The gameplay, fun. Challenging, has a lot of different options for combat. It's like a mix of Diablo and Dark Souls. The developers, the same ones who made the Ori games, so you know it's gonna be good. The game itself, It's unfinished, but it'll get there. And boy, I tell you, when it's finished, this game is going to be a masterpiece. When it first came out, I was hooked. If you like dark fantasy and games where you have to dodge and time attacks and fight bosses, and you like feeling like you're in a world where everything sucks and is super depressing, I would question why you like feeling that way. I know life can be kind of rough sometimes, but you're doing a great job, pal. Keep it up. No Rest for the Wicked does all of this very well. It's extremely satisfying to play, partly due to the beautiful graphics, partly due to the sound design, partly due to just how smooth everything feels, and partly due to how gratifying it is to brutally backstab someone with your knives. They updated the game and added a roguelike mode for when you get to max level, which I found super fun because sometimes you get an absolutely insane build going and you wreck everything, but I guess that's just roguelikes for you. The level designs are interesting and gorgeous, and some areas have puzzles, and I love puzzles, so that's cool, but I will warn you, this game, like I said, is unfinished. In its current state, you can probably get a good 30 to 40 hours out of it before reaching the end of the content that's available, not including the roguelike mode, and it does contain repetitive gameplay. You'll be running back to the same areas that you've been to multiple times, collecting resources and killing the same enemies over again because of the nature of progression. But for someone like me, I could look past the repetitive nature because I just enjoyed playing the game. This game has been updated slower than I would like, a lot slower. However, the devs did just make an announcement for the next major content patch, which is supposed to be coming on March 11th, and I am very excited for that. So if early access isn't your thing and you'd rather wait until the game is fully complete, I think No Rest for the Wicked is absolutely worth putting on your radar because, again, it is a masterpiece in the making. The best way that I can describe Enshrouded is that it's a survival crafting game without all the usual survival crafting bullshit that bogs down these types of games. Maybe it's just me, but I don't like spending hours and hours mining wood and chopping stone and doing the same thing over and over again. I ain't got time for that anymore. Yes, there's still resource collection in Enshrouded, but it doesn't feel nearly as cumbersome as other games of the genre make it. It's a lot more forgiving and a lot more rewarding. Really, Enshrouded leans more into the cozy side of survival crafting than anything. It's less survival, more crafting, and more RPG-ish. This might not be for you, but it sure as hell is for me. The number one highlight of Enshrouded, its strongest feature, no doubt, is the building. It is fan-fucking-tastic. You can get so creative in this game and make absolutely gorgeous builds. It's like building in Minecraft, except the blocks are smaller, so you can make more complex shapes. Smaller blocks, of course.
Genius. Why didn't I think of that?
My friends and I claimed this mountaintop as our base, and over time we've been expanding it. All our vendors and farming stuff is on top of the mountain, and then I claimed the inside of the mountain as my house. I do eventually want to completely hollow out the mountain and make a sort of city inside it or something, but realistically I don't think it's going to end up happening. Anyway, check out this cool kitchen I made. It's pretty cute, huh? I love building, and even if you don't, there's still plenty other things that this game does well to make it worth your time and money. But realistically, if you don't like building, you might not be in love with this game as much as I am. Like I said, there is a sort of RPG element to it. There are quests, there are people that you can recruit to stay at your base that will allow you to upgrade your skills and your weapons and your armor. The map is gigantic, and there's a ton of different landmarks and things to do around the world, and the best part is that the developers are actively updating this game and adding major content updates that I actually have played, and I started playing those updates because I was editing this video and I was like, damn, I miss Enshrouded and I want to go back to it. And one of these updates, Melodies of the Mire, they added a new region and quests and all that cool stuff, but they also added musical instruments, which is one of my favorite parts about it. You can start a band with your friends. I usually play on lower graphics because when you're building a lot of stuff, it can be kind of demanding, but when you do play this game on higher settings, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I was actually blown away by it in some areas. I was like, holy fucking shit, this looks so good. In my personal opinion, Enshrouded is a contender for being one of the best survival crafting games out there, and I think Valheim is up there with it too. Both fantastic games that you should absolutely check out if you haven't already. Now let's talk about some honorable mentions. V Rising. I originally wanted to include this game to have its own section in the video, but it's been out on early access since 2022, and its official release was in 2024, so it kind of felt like it didn't really qualify as much, but I got sucked into this game harder than a golf ball through a garden hose after playing its official release. It's also got to be one of my favorite survival crafting games that made it just a huge leap in quality since its original early access release. And another honorable mention is web fishing. This game is basically Club Penguin, except you fish and you don't get an igloo to decorate. And there's no pizza parlor to pick up chicks in. It's a social game where you fish and you catch big fish, and then eventually you catch a whale. I got to interview furries in this game, which was a great time, and if you're you can hop on one of the 18+ servers. I'm sure someone will take you.
My favorite is the Chinese version of Bill Nye the Science Guy. You listen to that to pregame. Beer, 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 beer.
And I have one dishonorable mention because this guy in my comments thinks that Palworld is better than Balatro. Palworld is the dishonorable mention. That game was aggressively mid, and I stopped playing it very quickly. Anywho, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this so I can disappoint you by only posting every 3 months or so, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!